everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie and today I'm here for Vlogmas Day 18, and for today's video I am going to be ranking the entire Star Wars saga. So every single movie that is canon to the universe will be included in this video. As many of you guys know, I am a huge Star Wars fan. I grew up with the movies. I am a diehard fan to this very day. And since The Rise of Skywalker is coming out just in a couple of days from when filming this video, I figured this would be a fun ranking to do. I did do a video similar to this a couple of years ago with the Harry Potter books. I will go ahead and link it on the screen. And I love Harry Potter, obviously, and then Star Wars is my favorite movie franchise of all time. So I wanted to do a video where I talk about my full thoughts on every single movie. So in this list we'll have of course, 8 episodes that are currently out, except for Rise of Skywalker, again, since that has yet to be released. And then we're also going to include Rogue One, Solo, and the Clone Wars, since those are canon. So yes, I will be talking about my full thoughts, which one's my favorite, which one's my least favorite. So I'm your only favorite. Let's jump right in and get started. So I'm going to start off with my least favorite and make my way to my favorite. So in the 11th spot we have The Phantom Menace, which is, I'm sure, quite a few people's bottom or second to bottom of their ranking. The Phantom Menace, I don't hate. I don't hate any of the movies, even the ones that are on the very, very bottom of my ranking. I don't hate. I did grow up with the prequels. I have respect for all 3 of them. Revenge of the Sith, you guys will see in a little bit where that ranks, unless you guys know already, because I have talked about that in quite a few videos before. My liking for The Phantom Menace has gone down quite a bit over the years, and again, I don't inherently hate it like other people do, but again, I think it comes from a place where I did grow up watching the prequels more than I did the original trilogy. So it definitely has its weaknesses. Like, it doesn't have a very good plot, it doesn't have really great acting either, which is why it's on the bottom, but yeah, I still have respect for it. Up to my 10th place we have Attack of the Clones. So this is the second film in the franchise. And again, I don't inherently hate this one either. I have gotten to like it more and more as I've gotten older and have understood the plot more. But I think the biggest thing with the prequels for many people is the acting. And yes, the acting is pretty bad, especially with the episodes 1 and 2. And I think the plot of Attack of the Clones is a little bit stronger than The Phantom Menace, which is why it's above it, but it's not as great as it could be, so it's in the 10th spot. In spot number 9, we have Solo, which it honestly could be lower. It could move, I think, eventually into where Attack of the Clones is now, because Solo, while I had some elements that I enjoyed about it, still was not my favorite thing in the world. And after Rogue One and how much I really enjoyed that, I had very high expectations for this one as well, and it just let me down. I think the backstory of Han was very interesting, but again, like many people, there is just so many issues with it, and I think there is plans to make a sequel to it, if I am hearing correctly. I don't know if that's true. I did leave off on a cliffhanger, so I can definitely see that being a situation they may do in the future, but I don't know. Solo, just not for me. Number 8 is The Last Jedi, which yeah, The Last Jedi. After The Force Awakens, in how that ended, I wanted The Last Jedi to be great. And again, it did have some elements that I really enjoyed about it, but I mean, I have gotten to realize since its release a couple of years ago that the issues many people have with it are there, and I just didn't see them the first time that I watched it. So it has gone down. Again, not a terrible movie, could have been great, just wasn't, so it's number 8. Number 7 is where the hate might come in, because number 7 is A New Hope. So this is the first movie in the saga that was ever released, and if you had asked me when I first got into Star Wars where A New Hope would lie, it would probably be in the 3rd spot. I still really love A New Hope. I think it definitely kick-started the franchise very strongly back when it came out in 1977. However, whenever I sit down to rewatch the saga, I never am like really excited to watch A New Hope, because it is kind of, since so many of the movies have come out now and what I know what happens afterwards, I'm just never excited. It's never like very anticipated to watch A New Hope. I always wanted to jump right into Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi or whatever. but you know, it's there. It was a great movie just to kick it off, but again, still not my favorite. Number 6 is The Force Awakens. So this is the first movie in the newest trilogy of Star Wars movies. And I know people don't like the sequels. I can understand why. But I think out of the 2 that have been released so far, and what I'm hearing from early reviews of The Rise of Skywalker, this is probably the strongest out of the 3. And obviously my opinions could change when The Rise of Skywalker does come out. But I remember going to the theater on opening day with my uncle and seeing this, you know, in theaters and thinking it was like the most amazing thing ever. Obviously it does have its issues once again, and it definitely strayed away from the original, you know, plot of the first 6 movies I had grown up knowing, which I think has brought it down quite a bit since its first release. And I don't know, I am never, again, same thing with A New Hope, I'm not really interested in rewatching The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi for that matter, just because I just don't enjoy them as much as I want to anymore. But again, this ranking could change, so Force Awakens is at number 6 right now, but that could change in the future. Number 5, we have Return of the Jedi. So the 6th movie, the final movie in what we thought was the Star Wars saga back when it came out. Obviously that has changed now. So Return of the Jedi, I would say up until recently was always my least favorite in the entire saga. I just never liked Return of the Jedi. And then I gained more respect for it as my love for The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones went down. And I don't know, I think because Darth Vader is my favorite character in the entire saga, Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, my favorite character, and since what happens at the end of Return of the Jedi makes me want to cry every single time, I think that's why I didn't like it initially. And I know that's kind of a petty reason to not like this movie, but that was a reason for a very, very long time. Again, that has recently changed, and I have started to like it more and more. So yes, Return of the Jedi, again, it has gone up my ranking quite a bit, but will it ever be top? I don't know. Number 4, we have the Clone Wars. So this is the branch movie, the middle movie in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And I remember seeing this in theaters. It was my first time ever seeing a Star Wars movie that wasn't one of the episodes in theaters. I saw it the day after it came out, and I was so excited. I saw it with my grandmother, my brother, and that was just so fun. I think that this movie doesn't get enough respect, and I think it deserves a lot more attention. I can see why people wouldn't like it because it is more on the animated side, but it's so important to the saga, and especially before getting into Revenge of the Sith. I think it's so critical to watch this movie, and maybe the TV show as well, to get a better understanding of what's going to happen in the events leading up to what happens in Revenge of the Sith. I highly recommend the Clone Wars. At number 3, this is a very unpopular opinion, we have Empire Strikes Back. I know, this is everybody's favorite in the saga, and it used to be my favorite as well. When I was growing up, before I watched my favorite of the entire saga, this was number 1. It was for a very long time, and I can still see why everybody loves Empire, why it's their favorite of all time. But for me, my liking for it has gone down over the years, and again, I am more excited to watch this than I am for Return of the Jedi and A New Hope. But I don't know, Empire, I just don't have that love for it anymore that I did back almost 12 years ago when I first watched it. And I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure it out. I still love it. I'll still watch it, but it's just still not my favorite. Number 2, we have Rogue One. So this is basically tied for number 1. It was for a very long time, and then, well, I think you guys can probably figure out what's number 1 at this point. It kind of took over. I just love Rogue One, and again, it's very important going into A New Hope to watch this one because it gives us the background of the very, very beginning of A New Hope and what happens there. We get the details on the Death Star and how the Death Star plans ended up in the hands of the rebellion at the beginning of A New Hope. And again, this one, it gets a lot of hype and everybody loves it. And I just think it deserves more hype. I love Rogue One. It's just so, so good. And then finally, in number 1 is Revenge of the Sith. My favorite movie in the saga, as well as my favorite movie of all time. Revenge of the Sith changed my life. It is the reason I'm still a Star Wars fan 12 years later. I love this movie. I agree. I don't think the acting is great. I can understand that. But there is just something about this movie that I love so much. I could go on a 10-hour spiel on why I love Revenge of the Sith. And I think a big part of it is I think the plot from what we got in the first 2 movies of the prequel trilogy just blew up in Revenge of the Sith. I just love the plot of this movie. I love how dark it is. I've come to like more of the darker films since then. And this is a big reason why. I just love it so much. The plot's great. The music is great. The battle scenes, I think, are the best out of any of the movies in the previous years. I just think it is fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like it. I can understand why. But it is my favorite movie of the saga. It's my favorite movie of all time. I don't think that's ever going to change. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I am posting a new video every single day leading up to Christmas, so make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell to be notified for when I post a new video. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys are a Star Wars fan, what your favorite Star Wars movie is, as I would love to know. And as always, all my social media links are linked down below for you guys to go check out if you'd like to follow me on any of those. And all being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 19. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye!